Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Coleman, and I will be speaking to you today about the pandemic and how it has affected me and impacted my life personally. So, I just want to start off by asking, did anyone ever think they would live to see a pandemic? I don't know the age of the people in this class, but I never ever thought I would live to see a pandemic. I actually had to look up what's the difference between pandemic and epidemic or whatever you call it. When everything first started being announced on the news, it was really new to me, so I had to look it up and get the definition of what I was even going to experience. And so I learned, that it's when there's a disease and it has been spread across the country or the world. And so at this point, it was the world because it was in China and Britain and everywhere else. So that was really scary. When the pandemic first hit, it definitely impacted me emotionally because I was pregnant. I was 9 months pregnant when it first kind of got announced. And then during my delivery, I actually was in the hospital when pandemic was being announced on the news, and they were starting to shut down hospitals, not letting people in and out. And so after giving birth, it was my first child, so we kind of forgot the car seat. And so once we forgot the car seat, they wouldn't release us without a car seat. So my boyfriend had to leave the hospital, and the rules were changing, every 5 minutes at this point because of all of the outbreaks and deaths that were occurring because of the pandemic. And so he left the hospital and they changed the rules and they wouldn't let him back in. So after giving birth, I spent the first 2 days in the hospital alone, miserable. I cried all night, I cried all day, the baby cried. I wanted to nurse my baby. I could not get my milk to produce because I was just stressed out. It was really really bad, and I just kept saying I hate the pandemic. So that was something that really, really affected me in the beginning. But as it, went on, of course, it got easier to deal with. They definitely had us all locked in the house. So that was one thing that definitely impacted me because I couldn't go outside other than to the store. And it was kind of scary to go outside because, I had a newborn baby at home. So it was really hitting home. I had my parents calling from California. I'm in Phoenix, and they were calling from California, telling us to rush out and get tissue and paper towels. And I'm just like, huh? And they're just like, they're running out everywhere. So, everybody had to buy a mask and make sure you wear a mask everywhere you go. It was just all happening so fast. And I was, I'm a germaphobe, so it was really hard for me to even want to go out. I didn't want to even, I would hold my breath when people would walk by, which is sad to say, but that's how they had me scared and thinking, just from seeing everything on the news and seeing everything on CNN, CSNBC, and all those different networks giving us the daily updates with dates and everything and deaths, and it was just a lot to deal with. Luckily, I haven't had any deaths super close to home as far as people that are close to me or family members that are close to me. I have had family members pass away, but they were kind of, long distance family members. But nonetheless, it has affected my family, as I'm sure it has probably affected many of your families as well. And so, also, as the pandemic went on, I was kind of happy about one thing. I got to stay at home with my newborn baby. So, even now, as of now, I work from home. But in the beginning, it was really, really hard to find work from home, which you would think it wouldn't be since they're making everyone work from home. But it was really hard for me to find work. I previously worked at a daycare, and the daycare had been shut down due to the pandemic and outbreak. A couple children had caught the virus. Some teachers caught the virus, so I couldn't go back to work, and I was jobless. So it also impacted me in that way as far as my financials. So luckily, I do have a job now. I just had my second baby, so I'm actually running around here with two under two. And my daughter was born last month, and her brother will be 2 next month. So, we've been getting out more and more. I still wear my mask when I go out, just to be cautious, especially I don't want to catch it. I don't want my children to catch it. So, luckily, I have not caught the virus, or no one in my home has caught the virus thus far. My parents and my sisters all caught it, but they were kind of asymptomatic. So, they didn't really have too many issues other than like a fever and a cough. So luckily that happened. But hopefully moving forward, even though it seems they continue to introduce new variants and new strands of this disease, hopefully it calms down and just turns into another flu, and we stop losing lives over this, because it has definitely impacted my life um, tremendously. Thank you.